Hi you guys, last week we talked about my 3 favorite Vanguard index funds, and I got some questions about ETFs. We're going to talk about them next in the Firefighter Financial Toolbox. Welcome back you guys. Last week we did a video on my 3 favorite Vanguard index funds, and I told you the reason I did index funds was because it's the easiest way to do dollar cost averaging, i.e. if you're going to put away $100 a month every month, you can buy fractional shares and you can put $100 into a mutual fund and it's fine. It works that way. But I got some questions about ETFs. People said, well, what about ETFs? ETFs, as we know, are exchange traded funds. Now the difference between an ETF and a mutual fund is ETFs are bought and sold on the exchange like stocks. Now, what does that mean? That means you have to buy it at the share price it is at that time. So the nice thing about ETFs is we don't need $3,000 to buy into that fund initially, right? We can buy one share, the ETF, and get started investing. So it's not going to come as any surprise my number one favorite here. My number one favorite is VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index ETF. It's the exact same fund, you guys, as VTSAX, which is my favorite Vanguard index fund. It's got the whole United States stock market. You've got about 3,700 companies in this fund. It's got large cap, it's got mid cap, it's got small cap. It's got you completely covered for everything you need. It's got a nice low ER on the ETF version of 0.03%, so very low cost. Currently, it's trading for around $149 a share. So for less than $150, you could buy a share of VTI and get started investing. My second favorite, this is no surprise either, is VOO. VOO is the Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF. A lot of people think that if you own the S&P 500 Index, you own the majority of the United States stock market. And that is true. You have the 500 biggest companies in the United States in this index. And by owning this, you own all of those companies, or at least a little bit of each of them, for a really low cost. This one also has an expense ratio of 0.03%. So very, very inexpensive. You're talking $3 on $10,000 per year, you guys. You can't get cheaper than that. Now that fund is currently trading at around $268 a share. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it's a very set fund. Remember, the very first index fund ever, which all your ETFs initially were based off index funds, the very, very first index fund was the Vanguard 500 Index way back in the early 70s when John Bogle revolutionized the investing world by starting an index fund, and it was the S&P 500. This is the same fund, you guys, only in an ETF. Now, my third choice should be no surprise, because you know how I say the United States market only makes about 36 to 38%, depending on the time, of the whole world stock market. That's a very small share, you guys. You need an international fund of some kind. And my favorite is the Vanguard Total International Stock Index ETF, ticker VXUS. It's the same as my favorite international fund, which is VTIAX, only in ETF form. Now, because it's an international fund, you guys, it's a little bit more expensive. This one has an ER of 0.09%, so 9 basis points. But when you compare that to an average fund out there, you guys, this is still a very low cost fund. Your average ETF for international funds are going to run you somewhere around 20 to 30 basis points, so 0.2, 0.3, somewhere in that area. And if you're getting it to a workplace fund, it may be upwards of 1%. So this is a good way to have a low cost option for your international fund. Okay, you guys, that was a quick down and dirty of my favorite funds, my favorite ETFs to invest in. What's your favorite ETF to invest in? Let me know in the comments. If there's one you think I should have said that I should have had in the list but I didn't, leave it in the comments. I try to make a video at least a couple times a week now, so if you enjoy them, I'm going to keep making them. Give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and come on back and see me again next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.